What if I told you the only thing you need to do right now is nothing, not hustle, not struggle, not push, just be silent, and let it come to you. We live in a world that worships noise. Everyone's running, scrolling, talking, chasing. We've confused movement with progress. We think the louder we are, the more seen we'll be. The more we do, the more we'll earn. The faster we go, the closer we'll get. But what if it's the opposite? What if your breakthrough, your healing, your clarity, your next big blessing is just waiting on the other side of silence? Silence is not the absence of life. It is where life begins. It is the sacred space where your soul whispers, your spirit aligns, and your purpose finds its way back home. Pause, let me tell you something I've learned, not from a book, not from a podcast, but from life, from sitting in a quiet room, from walking alone through heartbreak, from listening not to the world, but to the voice within me. And that voice, it doesn't scream, it doesn't rush, it whispers, it says, "Baby, you don't have to chase it, you don't have to force it, just be still. Be silent, and everything meant for you will come." The illusion of control we spend so much of our lives trying to control, trying to fix, trying to make things happen on our timeline. But God's timing, the universe's timing, it doesn't run on fear. It doesn't answer to your panic. It responds to your peace. And peace begins in silence. When I first learned this, I remember the first time I truly heard silence. It wasn't quiet. It was full. It was alive. It was as if the entire universe had been waiting for me to stop, so it could start speaking. And it said, "Opera, stop running, stop proving, stop begging for what's already yours. Be silent, be still, be ready, because everything you're asking for is already on its way. Today, I want you to walk with me." This is not just a speech. This is a spiritual journey. Today, we are not just going to talk about silence, we're going to step into it. We're going to let go of the noise, the mental clutter, the rushing thoughts, the pressure, and step into a space of peace, of trust, of inner power. Because I promise you, the things you've been praying for, the answers you've been waiting on, the peace you've been longing to feel, they're not hiding from you. They are simply waiting for you to be quiet enough to receive them. Now take a deep breath. And let's begin. Silence is not the absence of something. It is the presence of everything. Silence is not where life stops, it's where truth begins to speak. We are afraid of silence in today's world. We are terrified of silence. We fill every empty space with noise, TV on in the background, phone in our hand, music blasting in the car, notifications pinging every 10 seconds, because we're afraid that if we turn the volume down, we might hear something we've been trying to avoid, ourselves. But silence is not your enemy. Silence is your mirror. Silence is where the fog clears and the real you starts to show. What you can hear when the noise stops, let me tell you this. There are things your soul is dying to tell you, but it can't scream over your distractions. It whispers when you pause. It speaks in the quiet moments. In the morning before the world wakes up, in the walk through the woods, in the 10-minute pause where you put your hand on your heart and ask, "Am I okay?" Your soul isn't loud, because your soul knows the truth doesn't need to shout. Stillness is the gateway to clarity. Every powerful decision I've ever made didn't come to me in chaos. It came in stillness. It came when I sat down and said, "God, I'm listening," not talking, not negotiating, just listening. When you stop talking, you start receiving. When you stop trying to force it, the answer floats to the surface. Opera isn't the only one who's discovered this. Wisdom from the great silent seekers. Let's talk about the world's wisest souls. They all knew the power of silence. Buddha sat under a bodhi tree in complete stillness until he reached enlightenment. Jesus withdrew from crowds into the wilderness to pray in solitude. Monks, sages, philosophers, mystics all took vows of silence because they knew, the more you say, the less you hear. They weren't running from life, they were aligning with it. They weren't avoiding people. They were meeting themselves. Your energy begins to change in silence. Have you ever noticed how peaceful people draw you in? They speak slowly. They hold their ground. They don't rush. That's because they live in silence even when they speak. Silence becomes a part of their energy. People feel safe around them. Because their presence says, I don't need to impress you. I'm already whole. You don't always need to respond sometimes. The most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all when someone disrespects you. Be silent. Let your peace speak for you. When life feels unfair, be silent. Let the universe rearrange itself. When you're lost, be silent, so your next step can find you. You don't need to react to everything. Some things are handled better in stillness. The gift of listening to yourself. How often do you sit with yourself? No phone, no background noise, no distraction, just you. Let me tell you, it is hard. The first time I tried to sit in silence for 30 minutes, my mind screamed. My ego panicked, my thoughts raced, but after a while, it got quiet, not outside, inside, and that's where the magic begins, the shift. From panic to peace. When you begin to live from silence, you no longer rush into relationships. You don't jump into every opportunity. You don't beg life for answers. You receive, you attract, you allow. Because silence makes you magnetic. It's the language of divine timing. Oprah's affirmations used throughout the video. Let these words soak in. I do not chase, I attract. What belongs to me will come. My silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. I trust the pause, I honor the stillness, I believe in the timing. I am grounded, I am aligned, I am open to receive. Closing reflection for Section 2. Silence is where you remember who you are. It's where your next chapter begins, not with a bang, but with a breath. Now that you've begun to understand the power of silence, next, we'll explore something even deeper. Why chasing pushes things away and how silence pulls everything closer. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. The more you chase something, the faster it runs away. But when you sit in silence, when you trust, when you align, it comes to you effortlessly, naturally, powerfully. The energy of chasing is lack. When you chase something, a dream, a person, success, you're saying, deep down, I don't have it. I need it to complete me. I'm not whole without it. That energy is lack. It's fear. It's desperation. And life doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to confidence, to alignment, to faith. What you chase, you place above yourself. What you wait for, you rise up to meet. The law of reversal. Have you noticed this? The more you chase love, the lonelier you feel. The more you chase money, the less you seem to have. The more you chase success, the more tired, burned out, and empty you become. That's the law of reversal at work. Because the moment you chase, you confirm, I do not believe I already have what it takes. Everything you're seeking is seeking you. Yes, let me repeat that. Everything you're seeking is seeking you, but it's not seeking your panic. Not your fear, not your anxiety. It's seeking your stillness, your trust, your belief that you don't have to run after blessings. You just need to become the version of you that can hold them. Become a mirror, not a magnet. You don't need to be a magnet. You don't need to pull, beg, lure, or trick anything into your life. Just become a mirror. Reflect peace. Reflect worthiness. Reflect I am already enough. When you mirror abundance, abundance finds you. When you mirror self, love, love flows to you. When you mirror peace, chaos avoids you. You're not chasing anymore. You're becoming. The problem with hustle culture, let's take a moment to speak truth about something we've been sold. The hustle, the grind, the chase. They told you, if you just work harder, longer, faster, you'll get it. Sleep is for the weak. Winners never rest. Go get what you want or someone else will. But what they didn't tell you is, the person who rests with intention, the one who waits in alignment, The soul who trusts the timing is often the one who receives it all, without burning out to get it. From force to flow, there are two energies you can live in. Force says, make it happen. Flow says, let it come. Force gets tired. Flow gets in sync. When you stop chasing, you enter flow. When you stop forcing, you find peace. Flow isn't lazy. Flow is intelligent. It's connected to the rhythm of the universe. The ego chases, the soul attracts. Your ego will always say, we're behind, we need more, look at them, we're not enough. But your soul will whisper, be still, you're already worthy, your time is coming. Silence helps you tell the difference between the two. Because when you sit in silence long enough, you begin to hear your soul, louder than your ego, and that changes everything. The magnetic power of letting go. Have you ever noticed this? The moment you stop texting someone, they text you. The second you stop obsessing over success, the door opens. The moment you stop trying to fix someone, they begin to heal. That's not a coincidence. Letting go is a magnetic act. It tells the universe, I'm not desperate, I'm ready. And readiness is the frequency of miracles. Style affirmations to speak in silence. I release the need to chase. I attract with peace. I do not beg for what is mine. I prepare for it. I am aligned, not rushed. I am calm, not desperate. I walk in faith, not fear. What's meant for me will always come, always. Stop running toward it. Stop panicking when it doesn't show. Start sitting, start listening, start becoming, because when you are silent, you don't lose your power. You become a magnet for it all. Now, let's go even deeper. Next up in section 4, why most people miss their breakthrough because they can't sit still long enough. Most people never receive their miracle, not because it wasn't coming, but because they didn't wait long enough. They got up. Just before it arrived, the door was about to open. But they walked away. There is a moment, a very real moment in every person's life when something is about to shift. But it doesn't feel like a breakthrough. It feels like frustration, like emptiness. Like nothing is working. And that's when most people quit. They walk away when the blessing was just inches away. Because the silence scared them. Because they mistook stillness for failure. The stillness before the wave. Have you ever watched the ocean? Before the biggest wave hits the shore, there is a moment of complete stillness. The water draws back. Everything goes quiet. The sand looks bare. But don't mistake that retreat for absence. That stillness means the wave is coming. In your life, there will be moments where it feels like everything's leaving. But baby, it's just the tide drawing back before your wave arrives. Impatience is the enemy of break, through the most common reason people miss their blessing. Impatience, we want it now, we want answers today. We don't like waiting because silence feels like punishment. But what if the silence is the final test? What if the quiet period you're in right now is not rejection, but preparation? The universe whispers, wait, stay, hold the vibration, don't give up, I'm almost there. And yet most people break in the last 5 minutes of the test. 5 minutes of stillness can change everything you might be. 5 days away from clarity. 5 hours away from an opportunity. 5 minutes away from the sign you've been praying for. But if you get up too soon, you'll never know. The seed grows in silence. But if you dig it up to check on it, you kill it. Patience isn't passive. Patience is faith in action. Stillness doesn't mean stuck, let's be clear. Silence does not mean you're stuck. Stillness does not mean life has forgotten you. Sometimes stillness is where alignment is happening behind the scenes. Connections are being made that you can't see yet. Your next chapter is being written in invisible ink. You think nothing is happening, but God is rearranging the whole stage behind the curtain. Stay seated. Stay silent. Don't interrupt the miracle. Fire, the last stretch, is always the hardest. It's true, the final mile before the break through is the one filled with doubt, with darkness, with silence so loud it feels like abandonment. But don't you dare give up there. The quiet before the blessing is always the loudest test of your belief. Let the silence break you open, not break you down. Learning to hold the space holding space means sitting with uncertainty without running, breathing through discomfort without fixing it. Trusting that stillness is doing more than you know. You don't need to fill the silence, you just need to hold it. When you hold the silence begins to hold you. Let these become your silent strength. I am patient, I am present, I am prepared. My breakthrough is on time. I will not rush divine timing. Even in silence, I am growing. What I seek is already seeking me, I just need to stay aligned. My silence is not empty, it is the sound of trust. Closing reflection for section 4. Before the miracle, there is silence. Before the answer, there is stillness. Before the light, there is shadow. And those who know how to sit with it are the ones who rise into their next level. Now that you understand why most people miss their moment, in the next section we go deeper into how silence turns into true power in the form of intuition. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of something deeper, the presence of intuition, the whisper of wisdom, the echo of your inner truth. The world is too loud to hear yourself in today's world. We are drowning in noise, opinions, notifications, pressure, expectations. Every second, someone is telling you who to be, what to do, what to want. But your soul, it doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you never sit in silence, you'll never hear your soul speak. Intuition is not a superpower, it's your birthright. You don't have to earn intuition. You were born with it, but to access it, you need space, you need stillness. Intuition is the knowing that rises when logic sits down. It's the voice that says, this isn't right, turn here, wait, go now, but you can't hear it if you never stop to listen. Silence is the language of the soul. You've heard the saying, prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening. Silence is the sacred space where the soul gets a chance to speak up, not as fear, not as noise, but as wisdom. The more you listen in silence, the more you start to trust yourself, because truth doesn't scream, it settles in quietly, like peace. The inner voice vs. the inner critic inside you. There are two voices. The inner critic born of fear, shame, and comparison. The inner guide born of love, clarity, and deep self-trust. But here's the truth. The critic is loud, the guide is quiet, and if your life is always loud, guess who wins? Silence helps you separate the voices. Silence makes you say, that's not me, that's fear talking. This voice, this one is mine. Silence gives you back your compass. When you're always reacting to noise, you lose direction. But in silence, you remember what you really want. You realign with your purpose. You stop asking everyone else for permission and start giving it to yourself. Stillness isn't emptiness. It's where you refill your cup with you. Great decisions are born in silence. Think about the best decisions you've made. Not the ones rushed, not the ones made to please, but the ones that came from deep clarity. They came from a walk alone, a quiet morning, a journal session, a prayer with no words. Your best life doesn't come from advice. It comes from alignment, and alignment only shows up in silence. Practicing sacred listening, here's how to activate intuition through silence. Create a silent space daily, no distractions, no input, just presence. Breathe deep. Still the body to still the mind. Ask a question. Then don't force the answer. Let it rise. Journal whatever comes. No judgment, no edits. Repeat until your soul becomes familiar again. It's not about hearing voices. It's about recognizing truth without needing proof. Let them settle in your heart. In silence, I return to myself. My inner voice is calm, clear, and always correct. I trust what I know, even when I can't explain it. I let go of noise and tune into wisdom. I carry the answer within me and I listen. Everything you need to know lives inside you, but the door to that wisdom only opens in silence. And once it does, you stop following the crowd and start walking in truth. In the next section, we go beyond inner peace, into the deep manifestation power that silence unlocks in your outer world. After all the words, after all the lessons, after all the hours spent together in this space of stillness, you have arrived at the deep truth that you don't need to chase, you don't need to force, you don't need to beg life to give you what's already yours. You just need to be silent and receive. Everything you're searching for, the peace, the purpose, the love, the success, is not hiding from you. It's waiting for you, waiting for the noise to die down, waiting for you to come home to yourself. Let this be your reminder. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You're just in the pause, the sacred pause where God, the universe, life, is preparing you, refining you, revealing you. So from this moment forward, let silence be your sanctuary. Let stillness be your superpower. Let your soul become louder than your fear. And when the world tries to rush you, you say softly, I trust the timing of my life. Because you've seen what silence can do. You've felt the presence in the pause. You've heard your own voice rise again. Be silent, be still, and watch everything you've been asking for come find you. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me today. May you carry this silence with you not just as a moment, but as a way of living, and remember, everything will come to you. You just have to be still enough to receive it. Have you ever sat in silence, alone with your thoughts, and wondered why, despite everything you've achieved, your heart still feels restless? You've checked all the boxes, the job, the car, the house, the phone full of messages, the profile filled with smiling photos, yet something inside you whispers, why am I still not at peace? I know that whisper. I lived with it for years. That quiet ache, it doesn't scream, it hums. It hums behind the laughter, behind the busyness, behind the applause. People see your smile, but they don't see your soul trying to breathe. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. You can be successful and still be starving, not for food, but for stillness, for wholeness, for peace. Today, I'm not here to tell you how to make millions. I'm not here to sell you success. I'm here to invite you back home to yourself. There is one rule, just one, that changed everything for me. It's not magic. It's not found in books. It's not a secret, but it is life, changing, and once you start living by it, you will no longer chase peace, you'll become it. This speech, this journey is my offering to you. From my soul to yours, we are going to go deep. We are going to let go. We are going to rise into something so simple, yet so powerful. You'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Are you ready? Take a deep breath with me. Inhale, exhale. Let's begin. There was a time when success meant surviving, putting food on the table, keeping the lights on, raising good children. Now, success has become a race, a never-ending pursuit. One more degree, one more promotion, one more follower, one more like, and still, we don't feel enough. We scroll and scroll and scroll, comparing our behind, the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. We convince ourselves we're falling behind because someone else's timeline looks shinier. But let me tell you something deep, and I hope it reaches your soul today. The world will always tell you that you need more. But your soul is craving less noise, less rush, less proving, because dissatisfaction isn't about what you don't have. It's about the story you're telling yourself that you need more to be enough. And this story, it's exhausting us. We wear ambition like armor. We hustle for our worth. We lose sleep to chase validation. We look at peace as something to be earned when it was always meant to be received. Let me take you back to a moment. Years ago, I was standing on a stage, receiving an award. People clapped. Cameras flashed. And in that moment, I smiled. But inside, I felt numb. And I remember asking myself, is this all there is? I had done everything right. And still, my heart wasn't full. That was the moment I realized something. Peace does not come from achievement. It comes from alignment, from being in tune with who you are, from knowing what really matters, from slowing down enough to hear your own truth. We're living in a world where burnout is a badge of honor, where exhaustion is a lifestyle, where self-worth is measured by busyness. But the truth is, busy does not mean valuable. And more does not mean meaningful. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop. Stop chasing, stop proving, stop pleasing, and start listening. Dissatisfaction is not a failure. It's a signal. It's your soul tapping you gently, saying, this is not it. There is something more, but it's not outside, it's within. And in the next chapter, I'm going to share with you the rule that turned that signal into peace. But before we go there, let me ask you gently, are you tired of chasing? Are you ready to truly live with intention? If so, let's move forward, because what comes next will change how you see everything. Now, let me share with you the rule that changed my life, a simple truth, a quiet power, one that doesn't make noise, but transforms everything it touches. Live by intention, not by expectation. Say it again with me. Live by intention, not by expectation. Let that sink in. Let it sit in your heart. Let it breathe inside you. Because here's the truth. Expectations are heavy. Intentions are light. Expectations come from the outside. Intentions rise from within. Expectations sound like, I should be further by now. They should treat me better. This should have worked out. I should be happy. But intention whispers, who do I want to be today? What energy do I want to bring? What truth do I want to live? How do I want to feel and why? Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, I walked into an important meeting with high expectations. I expected respect. I expected alignment. I expected appreciation. What I got was the opposite: dismissiveness, disharmony, disappointment. I walked out feeling disrespected and drained, but that night something shifted. I sat with myself, not the version of me with a title, not the one in a nice suit, not the one people know, but the one within. And I asked myself, why did I go in there seeking validation? Why did I let my peace depend on their reaction? And that's when it clicked. I was living by expectation, not intention. So the next time I walked into a meeting, I carried a different energy. I told myself, I am here to show up fully, to speak truth with love, to honor my values. Whatever happens beyond that is not mine to carry. That was intention, and let me tell you, that meeting, it felt free, it felt clean, it felt light, because I wasn't tied to outcomes. I was rooted in presence. So what is intention really? Intention is purpose without pressure. It's the quiet agreement between your soul and your day. It's you deciding how you show up, not what you'll get. When you live with intention, you stop asking, what will I receive? And start asking, what will I give from who I am? Expectations come with tension. Intentions come with peace. Expectations are about control. Intentions are about flow. Expectation says, I gave love, so I should get love back. Intention says, I gave love because that's who I am. Expectation ties your peace to someone else's behavior. Intention keeps your peace in your own hands. Let's talk relationships for a moment. How many of us walk into a friendship or marriage with silent expectations? We expect them to understand us, to know what we need, to show up the way we imagined, and when they don't, we break. Why? Because we weren't loving them, we were managing them, but intention changes that. It says, I will love you, not to get love back, but because I choose love as my way of being. And that changes everything. Intentional living is soulful living. I want to ask you something. What would your mornings look like if you lived by intention? Would you reach for your phone first thing? Or would you reach for your breath? Would you scroll through others' lives? Or check in with your own? What if you started your day not by asking, what do I have to do? But by asking, how do I want to feel today and what can I do to honor that? That's intention. It's not big, bold moves. It's quiet, consistent alignment. It's lighting a candle while you work. It's saying no when your body says no. It's walking away from things that steal your peace. It's showing up not perfectly, but honestly. The day I truly understood this rule, there was a day I felt everything collapse. A project failed. A relationship ended. I felt alone and hollow, and I remember asking God, what now? What do I do now? And I heard the whisper. Not from the sky, but from inside. Let go of the plan. Choose your intention. That day, I didn't plan to rebuild. I didn't plan to rise. I simply chose to show up, intentionally, and from that small, simple decision. Everything began to shift, not overnight, but over time, because peace isn't built in moments of control. Peace is born when we surrender the outcome and choose the energy. So today, I ask you, what expectations are you holding that are breaking your spirit? What if you let them go just for today? What would it feel like to breathe freely, to stop gripping the outcome, to trust your energy more than your effort? Can you let go of the shoulds and embrace the I choose to? That's the rule, my friend, not magic, just truth. Live by intention, not by expectation, and the next time your heart feels heavy, remember, it's not because life is too much, it's because your expectations are. And it's okay. Let them go. Come back to yourself. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you exactly how to practice this rule in your everyday life. Not just in theory, but in breath, in action, in your morning, in your relationships. We're going to build your peace practice together. Are you ready? Take a breath with me. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go. So far, we've understood the rule. We've felt the power of letting go of expectations and embracing a life led by intention. But now comes the real work, the daily work, because knowing a truth doesn't change your life. Living it does. So how do you practice this rule every day? How do you go from understanding to embodying? Let me show you gently, one step at a time. The first 10 minutes of your day will define the next 10 hours. Don't wake up and jump into the noise. Don't check emails. Don't open social media. Don't run into the world before you've anchored into yourself. Instead, wake up and ask yourself, what energy do I want to carry today? And not what tasks, not what expectations, but what energy. Do I want to move with grace? Do I want to stay present? Do I want to protect my peace? This one simple question will shift your whole day. Here's what I personally do every morning. I light a candle. I close my eyes. I put my hand over my heart. And I whisper, today, I intend to be fully present. I will meet myself with kindness. I will not chase. I will align. And just like that, I return to myself. I start my day from peace, not pressure. That's intention. You don't need to plan your life by the hour. You just need to show up fully in the moment you're in, and the best way to do that, micro intentions. Before every activity, set a tiny, soulful intention. Before a meeting, I intend to listen more than I speak. Before a difficult conversation, I intend to stay kind, even if I'm misunderstood. Before a workout, I intend to honor my body's limits today. Before dinner with family, I intend to be truly present. No phones, no distractions. Micro-intentions align your energy quietly, powerfully. They keep you rooted in how you want to show up rather than what you expect to happen. Let's be honest, expectations sneak up on us. We expect people to text back. We expect plans to go smoothly. We expect to be understood. And when it doesn't happen, we spiral. So here's the key. Catch the spiral before it carries you away. When you notice yourself getting anxious, angry, or disappointed, pause. Take a breath, ask yourself, am I upset because something truly went wrong, or because it didn't go the way I expected? That moment of honesty is healing, because most of our suffering isn't caused by life. It's caused by resistance to life, and when we let go of the expectation, peace rushes in. Let's take a real life example. You apply for a job, you prep hard, you feel ready, and then you don't get it. Expectation will say, this is unfair, I deserved it, I failed. But intention will say, I showed up with integrity, I gave it my best, I stay rooted in purpose, not results. Living with intention means you no longer obsess over whether you win, you stay focused on whether you acted from your truth. That shift changes everything, because now your worth isn't tied to outcomes. It's tied to your inner alignment. You stop chasing and start becoming. Every night before the world goes quiet, come home to yourself. Light a small candle or play soft music. Sit in silence for just 5 minutes. And ask yourself, did I live from expectation today or intention? What drained me? What filled me? What do I want to let go of before I sleep? This is not about judgment. It's about reflection. It's about returning. It's about realigning, because peace is not a destination, it's a daily practice. Keep a small journal by your bedside. Every morning write, today I intend to feel. I will protect my peace by. If things don't go my way, I will. And every night write, I felt most aligned when, I noticed my expectations creeping in when, tomorrow I will remember to. That's it, no rules, no pressure, just a sacred space to stay in touch with your truth. Living by intention is not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about choosing moment by moment to return to what matters. So let me ask you again, how would your life change if you no longer tied your peace to other people's behavior? What if your joy wasn't fragile because it wasn't dependent on the world agreeing with you? That kind of peace is not loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't sparkle, but it will hold you, carry you, and lead you home. Every single day, let's continue this journey, because in the next chapter, we're going even deeper into the world of relationships, boundaries, and intentional connection. Are you ready? Let's go. Let me tell you something that took me decades to truly learn. It's one thing to live with intention when you're alone, but it's another thing entirely when your peace is challenged by other people. By the ones you love, by the ones you hoped would understand, by the ones you thought would walk with you forever. Let's begin here. You are not responsible for how others receive your truth. You are only responsible for how clearly, how lovingly, and how intentionally you share it. That's it. You can't control their response, but you can choose your own energy. The illusion of control in relationships. We often think we can control others, not obviously, not cruelly, but quietly. We try to fix them, change them, convince them, make them love us in the way we understand love. But let me ask you something. Has trying to control ever really brought peace? Has holding on tighter ever made someone stay? Has expecting them to read your mind ever led to joy? It doesn't, because the truth is, the tighter you grip, the faster peace slips away. Love isn't about control. It's about presence. It's about witnessing. It's about letting others be who they are while you remain true to who you are. The most powerful shift, from controlling to creating space, when I finally realized that I couldn't change another person. When I accepted that love is not control, I began to feel free even within heartbreak. I started asking myself, instead of asking, how do I change them? I began asking, how do I create a safe space for both of us to be real? And that changed everything. Because sometimes we confuse love with attachment. We confuse loyalty with betrayal. We confuse boundaries with punishment. But let me tell you something. A boundary is not a wall. It's a doorway to deeper self-respect. It doesn't say, I hate you. It says, I love me, and I want to love you in a healthy way too. Here's how to let go of control and stay in intention in relationships. 1. Love without losing yourself. Ask yourself every day, am I shrinking to be loved? Am I quieting my needs so they won't leave? Am I abandoning myself just to be accepted? Because that is not love. That is fear wearing love's clothes. Real love, honest, intentional love includes you too. So today, promise yourself, I will no longer trade authenticity for approval. I will no longer perform peace just to avoid conflict. I will no longer let someone else's wounds wound me, too. Detach from the outcome. The most freeing moment in a relationship is this. I love you, and I don't need you to be someone else for me to keep loving you. I care for you, but I won't abandon myself to chase your validation. That's intention. That's maturity. You can let someone go and still hold peace. You can walk away from a toxic pattern and still carry love in your heart, because letting go is not always rejection. Sometimes it's protection for your soul. 3. Speak your truth gently and clearly. Intentional relationships thrive on communication without fear. You don't need to explode. You don't need to please. You don't need to disappear. You just need to speak with clarity, honesty, and love. Try this. When you said that, I felt hurt. Can we talk about it? I love our connection, but I need more space to recharge. I respect your perspective, but this doesn't align with my peace. When you speak like this from intention, not from reaction, you create safe space for real connection. Not perfect connection, but real. We fear conflict because we think it means something is wrong. But what if conflict is just an invitation to deeper understanding? Instead of reacting, ask yourself, what wound is being triggered in me right now? Am I responding from love or from fear? Is this worth controlling or worth surrendering? Some battles aren't yours to fight. Some misunderstandings don't need fixing. Some moments just need you to pause and stay rooted. When someone triggers you, breathe. When you feel misunderstood, pause. When you want to fix, control, or explain, return to your anchor. I will not control. I will live with intention. I will protect my peace. Because when your peace becomes sacred, you stop begging others to honor it. You just start honoring it yourself, and you know what happens then. People either rise to meet you or fall away from you. Either way, you remain whole in your relationships, in your friendships. In your family, you will never control how others show up, but you always get to choose. Will I abandon myself to keep them comfortable, or will I stand rooted in my truth with love? Let go of needing them to understand you. Just keep understanding yourself. Let go of needing them to stay. Just keep staying grounded in peace, and when it hurts, hold yourself gently. Remind yourself, I'm not here to fix anyone. I'm here to be free, to love without losing me. In the next chapter, we're going to explore something even deeper: how to reprogram your beliefs about worthiness, peace, and success. So you no longer live for validation. You live in alignment. Are you ready? Let's go deeper. We've talked about peace. We've talked about relationships. We've talked about living with intention over expectation. But there's a deeper layer beneath all of this. It's the quiet programming that runs your life. The beliefs you never chose but live by every single day. And until you reprogram those beliefs, you'll keep chasing peace in the world while ignoring the war inside. Let's begin there, where your beliefs come from. Most of the beliefs you live by, you didn't consciously choose them. They were handed to you by your parents, by your culture, by your trauma, by your teachers, by media, by your pain. You didn't wake up and decide, I'm not worthy unless I'm productive. If I don't succeed, I'm a failure. Love must be earned, not received. If people don't approve of me, I must not be good enough. No, those beliefs were downloaded into you, quietly, subtly, repeatedly, but just because something was downloaded doesn't mean it must be lived. You can rewrite the code. Every moment of stress is a signal. Every trigger is a teacher. Every breakdown holds a belief. Next time you feel anxious, ask, what do I believe about myself or the world that's making me feel this way? Example, you get rejected from a job and you spiral. Pause and ask why. Maybe deep down you believe, I'm not valuable unless I'm chosen. Or if I fail, it means I'm not good enough. That's the root, and once you find it, you can heal it. Don't fight your beliefs, just gently question them. Ask, where did I first learn this? Whose voice is this? Is this absolutely true? What would my life look like without this belief? Example, belief, I must always be productive to feel worthy. Ask yourself, who taught me that rest equals laziness? Do I admire people who burn out or people who live with balance? What if I was worthy even when I'm still? Beliefs can be loud, but the truth is always quiet. Peaceful, expansive. Now here comes the real transformation. You don't just erase a belief, you replace it. You speak a new truth into your soul, not a fantasy, not a fake affirmation, but a real deep truth that feels grounded. Try replacing, I'm only lovable when I'm perfect, with I'm worthy of love even in my mess. I have to do more to be enough, with my presence is enough. My being is sacred. They didn't choose me, so I must not matter. With their inability to see my value doesn't define my worth. You repeat this truth every day, you write it, you whisper it, you breathe it into your body until it becomes your new baseline. Transformation isn't about what you know, it's about what you embody. Once you've written your new soul truth, start aligning your actions with it. If your truth is, I deserve rest, then rest without guilt. If your truth is, I am enough as I am, then stop over-explaining your boundaries. Stop proving yourself to people who refuse to see you. You won't get it perfect, but every small action in alignment with your new belief, it reprograms your nervous system, it rewires your brain, it reclaims your power. Belief healing ritual every night. Sit with yourself for just 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart. Ask, what old belief drained me today? What new truth do I want to carry tomorrow? Then say this, I release the belief that I must earn my worth. I release the belief that others define me. I release the belief that I am behind in life. I welcome the truth that I am exactly where I need to be. I welcome the truth that my existence is enough. I welcome the truth that I am allowed to rest, to heal, and to grow. Do this every night, not to become someone else, but to finally come home to who you really are. The beliefs that were given to you are not permanent. You are not broken. You are just programmed, and now you are the programmer. You are the author, the editor, the healer. You don't need the world to change for you to find peace. You just need to release the beliefs that told you peace was anywhere outside of you. Let's keep going, because in the next chapter, we're going to take this even deeper learning, how to protect your energy in a world that drains it. It's not just about changing your beliefs. It's about changing how you guard them. So here we are, 5 hours, 5 chapters, 5 deep journeys into the heart of who you really are. and I want you to pause right now. Just pause, breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. That is your reminder. You are alive, and more than alive. You are becoming. You didn't come here today to become someone new. You came here to remember the peace you forgot, to remember the worth you once abandoned, to remember that nothing, absolutely nothing outside of you, can offer what your soul already holds. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not broken. Maybe life has hurt you. Maybe the world taught you to run, to chase, to compare, to prove. But I need you to know this deeply. You are not broken. You are becoming, you are unfolding, and you are exactly where your healing begins. The world may rush you. Others may misunderstand you. But your soul, it knows the pace. It knows the rhythm. It knows. You don't need to rush what was meant for you. You only need one rule to stay free, and if there's only one rule to follow, just one, let it be this. Protect your peace above all else. Protect it from noise. Protect it from pressure. Protect it from your own inner critic, because your peace, it is sacred. It is your compass. It is your truth. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. You just need to honor it every single day. And when you do, you will realize what so many spend a lifetime chasing, that joy was never in the destination. It was in the decision to live aligned, to live slow, to live intentionally, to live free. Let this be the beginning, not the end. As we close this journey together, I don't want you to say, that was a great message. I want you to say, this is where I changed. This is the moment I chose peace. This is when I stopped running and started returning to me. So as you leave this space, take this with you. Be slow, be mindful, be intentional, be in love with your own breath, be in awe of your own presence, and above all, be the peace you've been praying for, be the calm in your chaos, be the love you never received, be quiet in the noise, be home. Thank you for walking with me through this message. Thank you for giving your soul the time to rest. Thank you for choosing you, and remember, no matter what the world demands from you, you always have permission to return to stillness, to return to intention, to return to peace, because that's where your power lives, and that's where your life truly begins. I love you, I see you, and I honor the journey you're on. Now go live it, fully, deeply, intentionally.